Recording.
Hey all, doing a new take on things today. I am going to do a little bit of a motovlog because I also enjoy motorcycling, and I was thinking of amalgamating a bit of just motovlogging into the Bruteforce Explorer channel. So here I am. I'm on my way home from work, and I'm just going to shoot the shit about motorcycling. I've been riding since, I don't know, let's say 1995, give or take. I've had a whole bunch of motorcycles. Let's go through them. My first motorcycle was a 1983 GPZ 550. It was pretty much a hand grenade on two wheels. Didn't last long. Got rid of that. I traded it or sold it and then bought another bike. What did I get? Got a, I think it was a 1990 Suzuki Katana 600. That was a decent little bike. It got my feet wet in the whole sport bike game. Drove that for a few years. And what did I get next? Let's think. I had a Suzuki Bandit. I think it was a 650 after that. Traded a lot of bikes. I didn't buy all these new bikes. I got the flavor for a different bike, maybe once or twice a year. Didn't really dig the Bandit that much. It was very buzzy. It was wasn't what I was expecting in a motorcycle. Thought I would trade that for, what did I get? Got into my mistake bike. It was a Yamaha V-Star 650. Absolute total garbage. Struggled to do highway speeds. It was not something that I enjoyed. It looked really cool, but that's about it. It was a piece of shit. Underpowered. 650cc cruiser bikes are not meant for highway speeds. It would struggle at 110. What did I get after that? I think I then bought a 1987 Yamaha VMAX, which was an amazing bike. I bought it under the impression that it had a cam timing chain tick. And that was my bad. It wasn't a cam timing chain, it was the bottom connecting rods, which warranted a full engine rebuild at a local place called Pro Cycle, which cost me a grand total of $4,000. Some of you locals may have heard this story because I tell it every chance I get. I babied it for the break-in period of the new engine because it was a new engine. It was everything inside was completely rebuilt, and I had to baby it for 1,000, keep it under, I think it was 4,000 RPM for 1,000 kilometers, and I was out for a ride with the rest of the local VMAX club, and we were going down the South Shore on the 103. And I waved my arms like a maniac saying, yes, I completed the break-in period of the engine, and I gave it some gas. I got going a moderate speed, and then I heard a bang. We lost power, and my legs started to burn. And then I started to lose rear grip on the rear tire because oil was blowing out of the bottom end of the engine through a quarter-sized hole that something grenaded through the side of the engine. Yeah, so that's where the bike died. I managed to get off of the highway and call a tow truck. I was pretty upset, and Pro Cycle ended up giving me $4,000, which is the price of the job, towards a new bike at their dealership. So, you know, I got burnt in the deal because they kept the bike, they kept the corpse of the bike. I pretty much just got the money back for the work and parts that they put into it. So I was out a few $1,000s. So I was stuck between a rock and a hard place there. I ended up getting a demo 2003, I think it was, a Honda VFR 800, which was a kick-ass little sport touring bike. I really, really, really liked it. Yeah, I liked it, and I drove that for a couple of years. You know, eating crow because I just was so pissed off about my VMAX blowing up because of incompetent mechanical skills at Pro Cycle. So, what did I get after that? I had the VFR. Ooh. I then traded in the VFR a couple of years later for a Buell, a 2005 Buell XB12 SS. So it's a hooligan bike. It was an absolute beast of a machine, and I really, really, really liked that bike. I think I sold it or traded it in again because I was doing some hooligan stuff on it. It was out of self-preservation that you'll understand that that's a trend that I follow. Is I buy hooligan bikes, scare the shit out of myself, and buy something a little more responsible or reasonable. So a year or two into owning that Buell, I traded it in on I don't know what year it was, Kawasaki Vulcan 1500. Wanted something sort of powerful that could, you know, haul me cross-continent if I ever decided to do so. Liked the bike, drove the bike a lot, put some miles on it, but it just wasn't for me. So I ended up trading that bike with a guy from Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, for probably the stupidest thing I've ever done in my life when it comes to a motorcycle. I got a 2003 Honda CBR 954RR, and it was insane. I've owned fast bikes after that, but I haven't owned crazy bikes like that. The CBR 954RR was instant buyer's regret. I was driving it home from Antigonish, and I absolutely hated it, but the deal was done. So what did I do there? I didn't like it so much that I traded it in within a year on a brand new ATV. I got a, what the hell was it? Yamaha Kodiak 400. And we drove that for a couple years, but I still really wanted a motorcycle. I missed having two wheels. I enjoyed having four wheels. So I drove it for a couple years and really, really needed a motorcycle back. So I traded it in with a local dealership, Halifax Motorsports, I think. What are we talking about here? Yeah, the ATV. I traded it on a 2003, and you see the trend of the bikes getting older as I'm trading them more. 2003 Kawasaki Z1000. And that was an amazing bike. I absolutely, absolutely loved that bike. It was orange. It had the double pickle fork pipes coming out the back end. And it roll on wheelies just all day. Like it was a complete hooligan bike. And again, out of self-preservation, I traded it in because I was just doing stupid stuff on it, and I was going to get myself killed or in trouble. So what I traded it in on, I was searching through Kijiji, which is the Canadian version of Craigslist. I traded it in on the exact bike from the guy from Cape Breton that he had on Kijiji. I got the Vulcan 1500 back from the guy, and rode that for a couple of years. I was getting bored of it. Slow, heavy, real comfortable, but it was just a slow, heavy kind of pig of a bike. I was talking to the guy. I actually happened to see the Buell that I sold the guy that I bought the Vulcan from. Now this is a really crazy story. I sold the original guy I sold the Buell to buy the Vulcan, and a couple bikes in between, I got that exact Vulcan back and traded it to the guy I sold the Buell for and got my Buell back. Think about that. Like, two bikes I got back again. I own the exact bikes again, which is it says something for the bikes. They were pretty decent bikes. By the way, I'm not doing 118. My speed is higher than that. My speed is lower than that. So I got the Buell back. Drove it for a couple years. I may post the videos I made on it. I may not. And what did I do then? Oh, I saw a Suzuki Hayabusa and had to have it. The guy wouldn't trade for the Buell, but he would take money. So I sold the Buell and bought the Hayabusa. And that brought my riding to a whole new level of crazy. I'm not going to say what I did, but you can just imagine how crazy shit gets on a Hayabusa, and I can absolutely vouch that it was a good time. But again, self-preservation instinct kicked in, and I decided to move on. So I found a guy on Facebook buy-sell type group that had a Suzuki, like mint, Suzuki M109R, which is an 1800cc power cruiser, had a 240 rear tire on it, had the turning radius of probably a bus. It was absolutely horrible. excuse me, it was a horrible bike in every aspect. It was uncomfortable, it hurt my back, it wasn't really fast, it was very, very torquey, but it looked cool. And that's not what I'm into. I want a bike I can ride. I want a bike I can ride. I'm going too fast. I want a bike I can ride and have fun. So I was looking around and looking around for a motorcycle that I could have forever, that I would not get bored of, that I could do different things in. So I was researching the whole adventure bike thing and ended up trading the M109R to an awesome dealership in the South Shore called Shore Cycle for a brand new 2019 Suzuki V-Strom 650. And I gotta say, I love it. It's 650, yeah, that's not many cc's, but it really uses them well. Like, I'm cruising along in fifth at 110 kilometers an hour, no problems whatsoever. Got another gear to go if I ever wanted to go faster. It's the wind protection is superior. I got bark busters. I got a skid plate. I got side racks, and I have some Tusk aluminum panniers on the way. A rear box. I love it. I can say I love this bike after all the bikes and all the experience riding that I've had. It's an amazing motorcycle. And when it dies, and I hope it never does, when it dies, I'm going to buy another one. And when that dies, I'm going to buy another one. The bonus with this is I paid for an 11-year warranty for this. So when warranty expires, I'll be 60 years old. Think about that. Like, I'm going to maintain it. I currently have 50/50 off-road and street tires. As you can see there, I'm running Shinko 804, 805. Very inexpensive, but they wear well, they grip well in the wet. I'm cool with them. There's another dude coming on. I also today had a little unfortunate incident where I have two LED spotlights that I was using this morning wired to this switch, but this switch, I'm stupid and don't know anything about bike electronics whatsoever, so I hot wired the switch right to the battery and bypassed the ignition. So when I got to work this morning, I went out, I left the lights on. So luckily at lunchtime, I went out to check to see when my safety inspection was up, and it's next year. I noted the lights were on. Having been burnt by that in the past, I was able to start the bike. So I left the bike running in the parking lot, ran inside, got my gear, got my helmet, and went for a lunchtime run, trying to charge the battery up, hoping that it would have juice. It barely started when I started it up, when I noted the lights were on. So I was able to charge the battery enough so that it was showing as 13.4 volts during my lunchtime run. And that was enough to get me started to get home tonight. So that's a good story. I am almost home, and that was my very first motorcycle vlog on the Bruteforce Explorer channel. I hope the V-Strom people that got to watch this enjoyed it. I will be alternating between ATV Bruteforce riding and motovlogging. So I hope the ATV people enjoyed the motorcycle, and I hope the motorcycle people get to enjoy the ATV riding, because there's some good scenery and some fun times to be had there as well. I'm going to call this a video, and I hope everybody has a great weekend. Take care.